Tasks can be created for virtually anything in Salesforce. With many people working together, tasks become an essential component to operations in Salesforce. This is John Doe here, introducing tasks in Salesforce. Tasks assigned to you show up on your home page when you first log in. You can see that John Doe has no tasks due in the next 7 days. This is where you can see which task view you want. For example, John Doe can see all of his overdue tasks. He can see tasks due today, or he can see all of his open tasks. John Doe wants to create a new task to follow up with a contact named Jane Doe. He wants to see if she wants to go to Romania. We're going to say this is in progress because we've already emailed her. And we're going to make the due date the 12th. We're going to make this high. We're going to make this a call instead of an email. And we're going to assign this to Jane Doe. What this means is that it will show up on Jane Doe's contact information. You can search for anyone in Salesforce to do a lookup by clicking on the magnifying glass and typing their name in. Jane Doe's at the top of the list right now. We also have the option to send ourselves a notification email. This will go to whoever the task is assigned to. So I'm going to send a notification email to myself, being John Doe, and I also want a reminder 1 day before it's due, which is the 11th at 9 in the morning. When I save this, this task shows up on my home page, and I receive an email notification about it. If I click on the link, it will take me to the task. The helpful thing about relating this to tasks or other objects is that this will show up on the contact page for Jane Doe. This is Jane Doe's contact page, and there's an open activity here that says follow up with Jane Doe, which is assigned to John Doe. It also shows that if this is a task or an event, the due date, the status, so Jane Doe hasn't started but John Doe has, and the priority. Let's say that I want to close this task. All that's involved in closing a task is changing the status to complete. You can do this by clicking on Close, and it will automatically change the status to complete. So you can click on Close and then Save. Now if we open the Open Activities on Jane Doe's record, you can see that that record's been closed. And it shows up in the activity history right here. There's been a lot of follow-up with Jane Doe. It also removes that task from the home page as soon as it's not open anymore. That's how you make a new task, close a task, and see which object that task is associated with. What about if you need to make a recurring series of tasks? Say you want to contact somebody once a month. Say you need to set up a coaching call with Jane Doe. We're going to create a recurring series of tasks monthly on the first day of every 1 month. And the end date will be December 1st, 2010. We're going to set this to be reminded 1 day before, and we will send a notification email to ourselves so that we remember to do it. This shows this month's call on the home page, and if I see all open activities, I can see all of the coaching calls with Jane Doe. Say that I decide I don't actually want to do this anymore. I can delete the task, or I can delete the series. You can relate tasks to virtually anything in Salesforce. Let's say I'm working on a campaign, and I need to assign a task to John Doe asking for something. It's really important that I get this something. And this is in relation to a contact named Jane Doe. We can see that this is related to the test campaign right here. And we can see that it's in relationship to Jane Doe. That means if we go to the test campaign, it will show up as an open activity. And if we go to Jane Doe, it will also show up as an open activity there. You can edit tasks to show your team that you're working on something. Let's say that John Doe is waiting on someone else, and so he can't complete this task. His team may be interested in knowing that. When they go to the test campaign to see what's going on, they can see that John Doe is waiting on someone else in order to give them something. Something else to keep in mind is that you can find your tasks in the calendar view. This is a good place where you can find your delegated activities. You can see what your team is doing. You can look at today's tasks, and you can look at all of your activities. You can also look at a calendar and see your tasks the same way you saw it on your home page. I'd like to see the next 7 days and overdue tasks. Hopefully you'll find that tasks in Salesforce are easy and help you keep track of what you need to do.